Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pokemon D&D Snow. I am your host and GM for this evening or day, depending on your time zone, the Gold Crow, and with me I have four of my wonderful friends with me, ready to roll dice and make their characters do some wacky things. And as the tradition on this campaign, or the last campaign that's going to transition into this campaign, one of our players is going to recap for a reroll, and I think that is going to be Quill.
Yep. All right. So last time we started out with Malcolm's day and what he does during it. The first thing on his first order of business, he went to his little doctor's office in large air quotes to meet one of his patients, a Meowth named Oliver, who needed some help going to sleep. It didn't go too well, but he did manage to sell him some wool for 5 copper. After that, he went to the church where he put a Miltank to sleep at the behest of Dante, the Hisuian Typhlosion. After that, he went to the local tailor's house where he met with the Lettian Ira, and she and her brother decided to take some of his wool to make up for the wool that he more or less gave away, and in doing so, cut off one of his little tassel things. He was not happy about that. Uh, Ira minor illusioned it back, which satisfied him until the illusion didn't follow him out of the house, at which point he determined that he was going bald. After that, he went to Proteus's house, and the two of them went to go look for flowers, bad flowers specifically, since there was a recent poisoning, being the Miltank that Malcolm put to sleep earlier. 1 second, I looked away. I lost my place in my notes. Malcolm didn't find any bad flowers. After that, they went to Mr. Hender's house to try to get some more information about what poison may have been used to kill the Miltank, but we don't get very far, and he sends us away. Sorry. Um, a different Malcolm hasn't turned up to Mr. Hender's place to give him the wool, and we hunt down that Malcolm. Um, let's see here. And on the way back to Malcolm's herd, a Decidui lets Malcolm into the graveyard to eat grass, much to Dante's dismay. And we find Malcolm at the herd, and he was just hungry. So then we send him off to give Mr. Henders the wool. But then we find out that he's missing, and we gather up the troops and head over to the Henders house. And long story short, that's where we found the house broken into, blood everywhere, and a Genesect stabbing Malcolm, who had fallen asleep and needed to be taken back to bed.
Excellent. And you gathered some of those pieces of the Genesect, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you can have your reroll for the session, by the way.
Thank you.
All right. And yeah, one of you took the pieces of that construct with you. Who was it?
Actually, it was Proteus and Ira. We took different pieces.
Okay.
Yes.
Um,
Ira took the cannon. Proteus took the head.
Its head.
you took its head. Okay. All right. So with that being said, you contacted the kind of the local militia, who and then in turn contacted authorities to investigate what's happened. You probably all would give honest testimonies as to what happened. I would take it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mhm.
And they probably just strike whatever Malcolm says from the record. But yeah, we'll assume like you came in, found this strange thing that murdered the 2 citizens of Helmfirth. You both took pieces of it and you brought it to your abodes. Let's start with you, Proteus. Assuming you have a week with this thing, what would you like to do?
I suppose with it, he would want to determine like the craftsmanship of the metal parts. What is it made of, and where could those materials be found?
Okay, I'll let you do. Do you have proficiency in Tinker's tools?
I... Let me check. I don't think so. Yeah, I do not.
All right, I will let you do an intelligence roll in that case.
All right. I should be good at these in theory. 16.
Okay, so taking this head, an unfortunate part of this is when the explosion happened, the organic parts of it seem to be disintegrated for the most part. So you're kind of looking at this hollowed out, it almost looks like a helmet at this point, but looking at the metals, there's it isn't a metal you would just normally see. It's very reinforced. When you pull out whatever tools you might have in your home, and it's stainless, it won't even scratch. You just take this, try to chip at it, it just won't just make a single mark. You think you probably could at some point, but it is just extremely durable. So there is a town in pretty much on the way to Lumhausen, the kind of the metropolis city, called Ironbroach. That they deal in smithing and mining, and it's actually a very polluted city. But you think they might know something more about this? And possibly they have something to do with it? Is there anything else you'd like to know?
I think that's the main one.
Okay.
that he'd be looking for is just where to take this.
Okay.
So the town's name he's thinking of is Iron what?
Ironbroach. Like it's just
Right.
iron, Broch.
All right.
Okay. Ira. So you're actually you're taking this big cannon into your house. You hear a voice say to you, Your family is probably going to question you about this.
I'm aware.
Yeah, just making sure you're prepared for that. But I do think this was the
Well,
correct course of action to take this with us. This is a very fascinating contraption.
mm, well, in this case, the truth is probably the best way out of this. Though, if need be, I can probably see if uh what's his name? Proteus would be able to hold this in his house if they well, they're reasonably wary of it.
Hmm. I find him to be a little sketchy, but
As do I. The fact that he was hiding his identity, much.
you tried it again.
Well, he's not hiding it to us anymore.
Hmm.
He's hiding it to everyone else. Maybe Malcolm as well. But he's the fact that he's hiding his identity means he's probably hiding something else.
My thoughts exactly.
The worry is that he might start hiding this from me. But it's not like there's really anywhere else I can go for that sort of thing.
Well, my worry is he's going to hide it from other people, and that's going to pique the curiosity of other people, and they will start prying into other people's business, including yours.
Mm-hmm.
But shall we take it
Well,
inside?
yeah.
All right. So you're kind of like dragging this giant cannon
Mhm.
on the just across the ground. You walk in your house, and you see you see Elias again. And as you walk in, he looks at you just with that silent gaze as you're dragging this strange contraption into your house.
She kind of like pauses for a moment, keeps going, pauses again. Do you want to know? Chances are you won't like it.
I am curious, yes.
She kind of sighs, and she looks a bit like rattled right now, just in general. A bit, maybe her clothes maybe look a bit singed. She looks a bit crestfallen, and she kind of like lets out a long sigh. Henders is dead.
Wait, old Mr. Henders. What?
She
What?
nods.
What happened, Ira? You coming back with that thing, and you look like you looks like you're in the middle of a blast zone.
This thing, she kind of like knocks against it with one of her arms. It's part of the thing that did him in.
I'll assume after this
I
point
don't know what it is, but
you've notified the authorities already. They're kind of
yeah.
yeah. Did you tell someone?
The the watch already knows. They saw this. They saw the rest of the pieces that were carried in. It shouldn't cause any more damage. It's completely disarmed at this point, but it's in pieces. It's some sort of construct, some machine.
Is this a construct like those ones those mages use?
She kind of thinks for a moment. Not really, but close enough. It's hard to explain. That's why I'm trying to figure it out. That's
We're gonna lock the doors up real tight tonight. You know, this is the last thing Pa needs.
She nods. Just if you want, I can just toss it in the shed. Keep it out of out of the house proper.
Yeah, I wouldn't like it in the house, because if it's a construct, it's not alive, is it? And someone's going to be coming back for it.
Hopefully not, but at this point, who's to say?
Well, you be careful with that. I certainly don't want that thing in the house.
She kind of nods and goes to grab the key for, I guess, the shed.
Yeah, you live in a pretty cozy home too, so the keys are just kind of hanging on by the door.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You be careful out there. You hear, Ira?
I won't cause any problems.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Okay. So do you want to go to? You're going to go to the shed?
Yeah. I assume like this little building right over here, right next to
On our map.
the house proper.
Yeah, you can go to that little shed. So this wasn't really designed for just mechanic. It's mostly supplies for the tailor. So you probably have to move some stuff around in there, but you can manage and make kind of a workbench, makeshift workbench. Okay.
All right. She kind of sets down the construct, or the cannon itself. Sets down the cassette. All right.
Now, okay, with it all set up, I'll ask you the same thing I asked Proteus. What would you want to kind of glean from this?
So, it was already kind of established that the machine itself, or the animating prospect of this construct itself, wasn't mechanical or wasn't arcane, right?
It was not arcane. It had all the pieces there of necromancy, but without the arcane parts.
Okay. And especially with just the cannon on hand, I think she's gonna try and maybe not reverse engineer, but try and just kind of determine. She wants to determine how this thing worked, how the cannon and that cassette worked, because that's the thing that set it on fire.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have Tinker's tools proficiency?
No, I do not have Tinker's proficiency.
All right, then give me a straight up intelligence roll.
What intelligence? Oh, something up. Ah, 6.
So you kind of look around the cannon, and a bit of it is kind of disintegrated from the blast of the self-destruction of it. But this is kind of foreign territory to you as you examine such a almost alien piece of technology. But what you do glean, what little you can glean is it seems to be set up so to do different things. Like the cassette that was in there was obviously for fire, but you think it malfunctioned. It means there might be more different kinds. You also hear, embarrassingly, I can't make heads or tails out of this either. And it's not really in my wheelhouse.
Don't worry, I wouldn't expect you to. This, whatever this is, it's much newer. It's not. It's not even arcane, so
Mm-hmm.
we'd be more. It'd be better to look for a artificer of some form,
Yes.
a mechanist.
It's too bad your term is over at the school, and we might have been able to get some more information there.
Maybe, but
I
even
suppose.
that's more in regards to arcane. Though there might be a couple professors there.
And I would like to go back there to find my ring. But
Of course, of course.
I understand that you require time with your progenitors and family.
Believe you me, I prefer the city much more to, well, this. That's. If luck will have it, we'll be back there as soon as possible, but this is strange.
Personally, I do enjoy the atmosphere here. It's just when there's work to be done, I just like to get it out of the way as fast as I can. Is there, assuming you have a week, would there be anything else you wish to try and glean from this thing?
Um, so I don't know if this is really related to the canon specifically, but she would try at the very least to compare notes with Proteus. She
Okay.
would be the one to initiate that.
Yeah, he would
Um,
probably share what he's learned with you.
okay. She would
Okay.
probably mention, yeah, all that. She would mention anything in regards to. I mean, you already know all the notes about the fire subject. She would probably also, um, mention the share the note, that she found in that strange, or in that old abandoned, what was it, temple? That one addressed to Lord Hemlock.
Ah.
And that's also something I'd like to do, if possible. Try and determine who this Lord Hemlock is, or anything related to them.
You. Okay. Do a. So, what I'll do here, if you're going together,
Mhm.
I'll allow you another check to glean something about the construct, as well as do this. But we'll handle the hemlock thing first. This is the note
Okay.
you found, for the audience. This is the note you found on, when you infiltrated a hideout of the Murder, a group of Murkrow with an uncanny ability to mimic voices. All right, so do a history check.
History.
I hope you have proficiency.
I do. I've got a lot of intelligence proficiencies, but I've got bad rolls, so that's a 13.
Going back on your knowledge, a Lord Hemlock does not sound familiar. You are familiar with like sorcerer lords of old, and Andromeda would help you too, saying like she doesn't know anyone like that named that. So, and you don't really have lords in this time period, so it's a moniker or just someone who thinks very highly of themselves. But you don't know who that would be.
Huh. So it's either a moniker or someone who has lived way longer than they were supposed to. Well, not supposed to, but then then well, yeah. I guess supposed to is the right word.
And
Well, this is very old.
would the two of you so what I'll let you do is I'll either let each of you make another roll pertaining to something, even the same thing you did last time, or you could put your heads together and you'll have advantage on it, on one thing.
Right. I don't know. What do you suggest? Fire Ally. Do you have anything in mind for?
I mean, I feel
additional-
like advantage would probably be a good idea. I'm just trying to think of what a good thing to ask between like the two discoveries
Mhm.
would be. Between like
Let's-
iron brooch and
Hmm. Yeah, we have a location. We don't. Random question. I don't know if this is a something that would be we'd have to resolve with a roll, but is the cannon functional?
No, at this point, no. Like, you could definitely tell
No,
after
okay.
after it blew up, it's yeah.
and I guess we'd also be able to tell that surmising from that it was fused to the creature.
Yes.
Mhm.
You got that with the roll when you initially kind of investigated it.
And there's no body left to really investigate that part, that
I guess
aspect as
what
well.
I would poke at here is how that might have been accomplished from whatever's left of the biological material. If it was done through magical means or mechanical means or chemicals, something of that nature.
Well, it definitely wasn't.
Would you
Hmm.
is that one for just you, or are you gonna advantage it?
Hang on. I'm just trying to think if there's anything better we'd want to kind of like think about. Just like, or what are you thinking? Like trying to figure out the process, maybe even reverse engineer.
Yeah, I
the
mean
whole-
that's what Proteus is trying to do. Is he's like, well, you had to fuse it somehow. That'll leave evidence.
Mhm. Yeah, sure. I'll give advantage to that.
All right. So intelligence with advantage.
I have +4. Do you have a +3? I think.
I have 3. Yeah, so go
All
ahead.
right, so I'll go for it.
Cool.
23.
Okay, so yeah, you think whatever went on here, um, it was biologically almost imitating magic. Someone was trying to imitate necromancy, but it was done in a manner that it was, and this would be something very unethical. It was biologically done to kind of fuse metal and creature together. And but there was a power source to it, and you think you know what that was, and that was the stone on it that seemed to disintegrate when it died. And with that roll, what was your roll altogether?
23.
23? Yeah. Okay, so you think what happened with that too was intentional to burn away all the organic parts and that power source to leave no evidence behind besides the just the debris of metal.
Mhm.
So it very much looks like just a construct did this, and that's kind of in the wheelhouse of not only the MDRA, because they walk around with constructs, but in Loomhalsen there's they have made the they have made the steel defender. That it's kind of like this, except without the organic parts.
Alright, interesting.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to do?
I think that's everything.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
pertaining to this, I think we're done.
All right. So I assume you're just kind of doing this throughout the week. And where are you going to keep all this stuff?
I'm like,
Uh,
Proteus probably has a part of his house that he is like, as like a hidden bunker. No, not like it, like a hit, like a smuggler's storage.
I assume, like, because you live here, the best you have is, like, floorboards that have a trapdoor and have, like, a carpet over it.
Yeah, pretty much. There's a floorboard that he can just flip open, and there's a hole in there, like he dug it out with a shovel.
Yeah. Okay. So,
And then carpet over the top of all that.
with that, a week passes in Helmfirth, and after that that incident, it's almost if like the town kind of goes back to normal. McFluff Fields is full of the Malcolms that wander and graze. Malcolm, over the course of the week, your tassel has grown back like halfway. It looks a little lopsided, but you've maybe deduced that you don't have WPB. It's still kind of it's not really symmetrical, but it's coming back. Dante, you go back to work in the church. There are still a few incidents of these bandits bringing in victims, not necessarily mortally wounded victims like the mill tank, but just victims of muggings and banditry that see their way to the church to be healed. Let's actually go back to McFluff Fields and Malcolm. One of the Malcolm says to you, Malcolm, the doors to the promised lands were not open.
What?
The doors to the promised lands weren't opened.
Oh no.
The stone garden, you said it would be open.
Oh no, I lied.
Ah!
Ah! I'll tell Proteus. Maybe he can find his friend to open it again.
Yes, the stone garden will be upon us again.
I'll be right back.
Okay. You gonna actually go ask Proteus?
Yes.
Okay. This is probably like while you and Ira are working too, is when you hear just a slam on your
I
door.
like to think that we're probably like in Ira's shed right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
You just hear a slam.
No, probably.
On the shed door.
Yeah.
Leave them slamming
I-
Proteus' door though instead.
I think I would imagine he went there first.
Yeah.
Then like someone told him to go somewhere else, and then he was told to go to the shed.
Yeah, then when your
Oh,
brothers
yeah,
just
they
said
were
they're in
like-
the shed.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so Ira opens the door. It's like, oh, Malcolm, hi.
Hi.
We're kind of busy right now. What do you need? Is something the matter?
The promised land is closed. Proteus, where's your friend?
Her face kind of falls. It's like, no, sorry, we're busy, and that's again, that's not for you to eat.
I
That area is
wasn't.
off limits.
That was for the other Malcolms.
That's not for any Malcolm.
What?
The only Malcolm that's allowed to be there is the one that got buried.
He sits there for like a solid 30 seconds and he's like, I guess he's gonna need all that grass when he wakes up.
Yeah, yes, exactly. He's gonna be really, really hungry when he wakes up. So, you just save it for him. He deserves it.
Well, I guess that makes sense. All the other Malcolms are gonna be upset, but I'm sure they'll understand.
Yeah,
Bye.
just tell them the same thing. Oh, bye.
And he rolls away.
Ira just kind of closes the door, looks back to Proteus. What's with that, anyways? Why do you? Why?
Why what?
Why do you let him in to the great? That's, I mean, to the graveyard. That's not very respectful.
I personally didn't let him in.
She kind of looks at you. It like looks around. There's no one here. You don't need to bother.
You can have Dante cast his zone of whatever spell if he possesses it. I have not touched those gates.
She frowns and raises an eyebrow. It's like, okay, then your friend. She kind of does with quotation marks. Whoever that's supposed to be. Regardless, why do you keep letting them in or letting him in?
My friend just enjoys how happy Malcolm is in there, but only the one.
Only the one.
Yes, I don't think he would really want the rest of them in there. As funny as it would be to see the look on Dante's face, I don't think that would be a very healthy use of our friends there, or anything else.
Okay. Dante's got enough going on as is. I don't particularly like him either, but he's busy. The whole church is busy. They're the closest thing we have to a proper morgue, which is becoming more and more relevant by the day.
I mean, he could try to cut a deal with Malcolm and have Malcolm trim the grass, or give Malcolm the grass when he trims it.
I guess, but that's his decision to make, not yours or not your friends.
Well, I didn't say either one of us made that choice. I'm just saying what could have been done.
Well, why don't you go suggest it to him yourself?
I thought you said so yourself. We're busy right now.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Right. Speaking of Dante, we go to the church where you finish the a prayer, Dante, with the rest of the acolytes and the clergy there. And just to give you kind of like the hierarchy here, you're a grave singer, Dante, and that is a priest who specializes in performing the rites and ceremonies associated with death and mourning. That's kind of your position here. I can go through all the others, but do you want me to just bring them up when they're relevant?
Bring them up in the relevant, yeah.
Yeah,
Just
okay.
so we're not
Exactly. And so, yeah, you sit there holding a candle that, strangely enough, when you light it, it seems to have all the strength, but when other members of the clergy try to light their candles, it's just kind of, the flame is just slowly petering out. And, yeah, you probably have to light a lot for them. But, yeah.
probably confused even having to relight this frequently.
Yeah.
I assume this has been just over the course of the week even, like it's been more and more noticeable.
Yeah. Your mind maybe wanders back to that experiment with the alchemist fire you found in Hender's house. But the prayer you hear goes like this. Yveltal, guardian of the final journey, guide our spirits in the inevitable cycle of life and death. As we walk this mortal path, grant us the wisdom to honor those who have passed, and the strength to face our own end with courage. Shield us from the corruption of undeath and the lure of forbidden magics. May we use our powers to bring peace to the suffering, swift mercy to the tormented, and protect the sacred balance you uphold. In the shadow of your wings, we find solace. In your embrace, we find eternal rest. By your will, so be it. It's a very dark temple too, so like only the candle lights just kind of provide these lights in an otherwise dimly lit building. As the prayer finishes, Dante, you hear the doors to the chapel creak open. These large wooden doors just creak open. And that probably catches your attention when you look back and you see the local postman, Oliver, a Meowth. He seems to be almost like he sees the prayer going on with all the acolytes and yourself. And he's just kind of... He gives you a glance, and but he seems to be respectfully waiting till you're done.
So once the prayer is finished and he stands to the candle, probably keeps it lit while just taking note of the others still gradually dimming out before he turns and walks towards Oliver. Thank you for waiting. There's something you need?
Dante, yeah, buddy. Just funny enough, can I talk to you in private? Just,
He turns his head just a little, like raising a brow, just a little confused even. It's a bit sudden, but yes, follow me. And he just sort of steps away from the rest of the acolytes, off to a corner for the two to just speak privately.
Yeah. Well, trust me, it's not that I'm not making a big issue. It's well, you'll probably understand when I tell you. But so I was walking along doing my usual run with the mail. Not very much. No one gets mail around here. But then I see this giant metal Pokemon stomping into town. And wouldn't you know it, I saw one of the mages coming in.
Metal Pokemon and a mage.
Yeah, it's the oh, what are those letters? The magical destitute research people.
The MDRA.
Yes, them. Yeah. So yeah, I thought they were coming in, and everyone gets in a big panic because when they come into little towns like ours, they think, oh, they're gonna take away our kids and bring them to the weirdo academy, or I mean, some people are like, yeah, they're taking away our kids. Finally, they're gonna make something of their lives. But that's not the point, Dante, buddy. So I walk, yeah. I walk past, and then she asks me about those 2 incidents that you were involved in. And she wants to talk to you and those 3 others, Ira, Proteus, and Malcolm. Well, that one Malcolm, the one with the hat. Yeah, I always found that weird how they're all called Malcolm, but then I learned it's just because they can't remember different names and they can only remember one name.
The McFluff block is a simple group.
Yeah.
Who was this mage exactly?
I didn't know her name, but it was a Natu. She had this big metal, beefy looking thing with her. She went into one of the inns, I think, and she just told me to send you 4 there.
Why a little town like ours getting this much? I'll have to go find them. Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the only reason I asked, because I didn't want to go find them. I mean, you're being looked for anyway. You don't mind doing me a solid here, right, Dante?
I'm being asked for and start of the day. You're still busy with the mail.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, this is the only mail I had. I just want a day off. It's been hard getting to sleep lately.
Considering how much excitement we've had as of late,
Mm-hmm.
I think anyone would enjoy a decent rest.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's all I want to tell you.
Right, thank you, Oliver.
Yeah, and he gives you a little tip on his little postman's hat, and he walks out of the chapel.
All right. Dante is going to probably start by looking for Proteus and Ira,
Okay.
just because of the nature of having to ferry Malcolm around.
Sift through Malcolm's. All right. So where would you go first? Would you go to Proteus or Ira's place?
How much does he want to accuse Proteus alone, and how much does he not?
Oh boy. Look at the path here. He's already on the hill. It's actually faster if he goes towards Proteus first.
All right. So yeah, you walk through the town. You go through the little homestead area, and you eventually reach Proteus's home. And I presume you just kind of knock on the door.
Yeah.
Would there be anything remarkable around here, Proteus, or is it just you wouldn't answer and you're just not home?
Probably the second one.
Yeah, so
Uh-oh.
you're probably knocking a few times, looking a window. It's probably shut, curtains double curtained in there, and
The 10-foot deep pit wall trap.
yeah.
Yeah, so if the entire house is just entirely dark, he'd probably start asking any of the nearby homes if anyone had actually seen Proteus today.
It is a small town, and they'll tell you he looked like he was heading over towards Ira. He seemed to be doing that a lot this week.
I think I can imagine why. All right. And at that point, he'll just head toward Ira.
All right.
Ira's place.
All right. When you walk over towards Ira's, you hear a yell from, when you knock on the door, you hear a yell from the house. You said, "In the shed!"
Okay, all right. And he'll just head to the shed then.
And as you head to the shed, do a dexterity saving throw.
Oh my gosh. Hold up. Here we are. Let's see. What is this? 11.
Malcolm, do a athletics.
Okay. $16.
So as you're walking towards the shed, Dante, from just the path, from like the pathway, the little small pathway heading into the shed, this round thing comes towards you, and it's just like, I could just see this like a movie as it like zooms in on your face and just crashes into you. And yeah, Malcolm, you kind of swerve out and you're on your back too.
The legs wiggle.
It's a very good thing that you are nothing but fluff.
Hi, Dante.
What are you doing over here?
The gate was closed.
There's an audible facepalm. We've talked about this so many. Never mind.
Malcolm wanted to eat the grass.
The only grass you guys are allowed to have is the one in your field.
Okay.
Fine, this is fine anyways. I needed to find you alongside the other two. Come with me, but we're going to actually talk to Ira and Proteus.
Okay. All
And
of us
he-
just kind of suck into the white fluff and pop out the bottom, so he's standing up.
Yeah, and you make your way to the shed, and after your short conversation, you hear another knock, a more conventional knock on the shed door.
Rather than like one loud thump.
One loud thump.
You see, Ira maybe lets out a sigh because she was just about to get back to work before kind of going to the door. It's like, oh, hi.
Hi.
Oh, wonderful.
This isn't just a social call.
That makes it
So-
more wonderful.
Did you hear word of the fact that apparently a mage has arrived in town?
Describe this
What?
mage.
Short, small, had some sort of construct with her. Apparently asked for us specifically. I got word from Oliver earlier. Told me to gather up all of us because apparently she wants to talk to us.
Was she wearing a hood?
I didn't get anything about a description like a hood. Just supposedly someone from the MDRA.
I advise we take our research with us, Ira.
What, the cannon?
Not to share, just a precaution.
Right. She picks up the cassette and puts it away. I don't think we can particularly carry this. I know what you're suggesting, but this is a bit too bulky to just kind of be lugging around.
Yeah. They are big enough that you'd have a very hard time to discreetly carry these around.
We get a Malcolm fluff bag, stuff him in it, and put him on.
Yeah,
Malcolm.
we'll just mount it onto Malcolm.
He's eating your garden, by the way.
Wait, he's.
Hey, stop!
Oh,
Just because you can't eat the you can't eat the garden in the church. You can't eat the garden here either.
Why not?
Because that's ours. We own that.
He spits it back out.
A few tulips just go up.
oh, that's wonderful.
How do they deal with this? Okay, and okay,
Patience.
let's.
A lot of patience.
Ira just like places the cannon under the table, and is going to kind of like just put a drape, like a sheet over it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's.
There's enough tailor's supplies. You could easily hide these things in here. So just carrying them around is probably out of the question.
Yeah. Just kind of pockets the cassettes. Like, okay, so you said this. So to cast MDRA
MDRA.
here.
That's what Oliver told me.
Wonderful.
You said with a construct, not this, right?
Just some sort of construct, a large one. Towering. Oh,
Oh, it's probably one of
that would
their
be something like this.
I forget the exact name for it.
Shield Guardian.
Yeah, it's probably one of their shields. One of their shield guardians. Okay, that's worrying, but okay.
The simple fact that we have the MDRA in Helmfirth is reason to be worried because it means news got out.
Well, it's also an opportunity to learn more. Let's
Or that they were watching.
go see what they have to say.
Oh, heading to the tavern then, because that's where we'll be meeting.
Oliver told you that she's at a small inn, and it's not like an enormous inn. It's like just two rooms because no one. You don't go to Helmsfirth. You leave Helmsfirth.
Right. It's just, it's like a place you stop at because you arrived in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Okay. So all in ingredients of going there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, you make to your way to the small inn that's rarely used, and you arrive at the front door, and you indeed see a large Golurk automaton just kind of sit there in an idle position.
Ira maybe rolls her eyes as she just kind of walks past. Speaking of inefficiency. No matter. Don't worry about it.
Assuming we're all here then, we'd probably just check in with whoever's tending to this place right now, asking about the MDRA mage.
Yeah. The innkeep sees you all and says, "Oh, yeah. She said she was expecting 4 visitors. She's in the room on the right there. Well, the one on the right." And he points to just 2 doors.
All right.
Yeah.
Proteus will stay downstairs with Malcolm.
Ira will head up. She'll.
There's only one floor.
All right. Proteus will stay near the table with Malcolm.
Come on.
Malcolm's following Dante.
Yes, for the four of us. Come on.
What do you look like, by the way, Proteus?
Probably the same as he did on prior visits. He's a Stantler.
Okay. So you're staying behind?
I guess Proteus is assuming that she'll want to talk out the in the tavern, not in her room.
No, she'll definitely want to talk in her room.
He's gonna knock on the door.
Yeah. You hear this, like, thrum of just very unfamiliar thrum of magical energy just go down, Dante, as you hear a lock on latch, and you see this small little Natu open the door. And yeah, it's a little Natu, and she has this a distinct feature about her is she has this ring around her, one of her small wings, that has 5 little spheres in it. But she kind of looks around a bit and says, "Are you the 4 involved in the incident?"
Yes.
That would be us.
Would you just like to come in my room for a little bit? I have some things to discuss with you.
Such as?
The nature of these incidents. And let's just say it's... Considering what I heard, it could be sensitive material.
I already don't like the sound of this.
Sensitive material it is. Oh, right.
In her room. Or rooms. Are there windows in her room?
Yes, there's a window in her room.
Okay.
Yeah, Ira will kind of take the lead, kind of head inside.
Dante will motion.
I assume she kind of opens the door for us to go.
Yeah.
Proteus will motion for Dante to go in first.
I was gonna say he's motioning for like Proteus and Malcolm to both go.
Malcolm goes in without hesitation.
Seeing that Proteus isn't gonna go, he'll go after, but before looking back, making sure Proteus is following.
Yeah, he follows inside.
All right. You see her as you go inside. There's. It seems like she set up the area with a... You don't know where she got this table from, but there's a really nice table in there and some very nice chairs for you all to sit in. But you see her close the door, and then she locks it manually. Then there's this strange device that she has around the threshold of the door that she kind of puts her wing against, and that thrum you heard, Dante, reactivates. As you see the door almost shimmering, and when you look at the window, it's doing it too.
Very secret, I see. Or very sensitive, I see.
She
You'll have
nods.
to explain to me. Magic isn't exactly... Not this sort of magic.
No, they're just simple words. Just to make sure no one listens in to what we're talking about. I've had problems with that, but let's not get into that.
Why would we be concerned about such a thing here in Helmfirth? This is such a small town.
Well, I think I should introduce myself first, and I thank you all for coming. I am Estelle, a mage affiliated with the Mystery Dungeon Research Academy, or the MDRA as people like to use. I've summoned you all here because of the recent disturbances in Helmfirth. The murder with
Right.
alleged feral Pokémon outside of Mystery Dungeons, and an incident involving the automaton at Mr. Hender's residence. I was given brief details by the authorities based on your testimonies, but I would like to hear it directly from you. Would that be all right?
So first and foremost, on what authority?
Well, your night watch relayed the information to Lumhausen, and the authorities there informed me of what happened.
Where the
But
stories travel
it was
so
rather-
Radius just gives Ira a side eye when she says that.
She kind of. Oh, go ahead.
Because there seemed to be arcane nature based in these events, and naturally the MDRA was called in to deduce what they meant. And that is part of the reason why I'm here.
She kind of frowns.
There was this big purple thing, and it stabbed Malcolm.
You're Malcolm, correct?
Yeah.
This is going to take some explaining.
So it stabbed you?
No, it stabbed
There's-
Malcolm.
We have a flock of Wooloo here in Helmfirth. They all seem to go by the same name of Malcolm.
Huh.
I think
Mostly due to the...
I think they just forgot their own names and then thought that they were each other.
They're
Yeah.
very simple.
I did find that odd that it said Malcolm was involved, but it didn't give any testimony from this Malcolm. That's part of another reason why I'm here, is just to... And I'm kind of understanding now why.
Yeah, you'll
I
find out
imagine
soon enough.
The three probably just glance among each other like, oh, they struck him from the...
Ira just
Malcolm-
nods along, like that makes sense.
Malcolm, can you describe what you remember?
I opened the door, and it was stabbing Malcolm.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
then it stabbed me, and then it burst into flames, and then it ran outside. And then I forgot to tuck in Malcolm, so I went back in to tuck in Malcolm, and then there was this big noise.
Alright, so... I might as well attempt to translate the last bit there. So... Yes, one of the Wooloo here, another Malcolm, was unfortunately stabbed by this strange construct thing alongside a Mr. Henders who was in the building. Afterwards, we took the bodies, the morgue, had them buried, but we're not entirely too certain about the whole events with this construct thing. I feel like I might be skipping a bit, but...
And what of this incident with, I was told, something involving a merchant and the murder?
You like to explain that, or shall I? I think I cut there.
There's not much
Oh,
to
well,
really
you're not-
say. There
I don't know
was
too much about the
murder,
murder.
Kidnapped a merchant and killed a few other people, and then they left. It's really
Though-
all there was to it.
Ah.
You're
So-
suggesting
The merchant was freed before the murder escaped, but that was about it.
She's down at the market if you want to talk to her and buy some stuff.
Yes, yes. But I'm more interested in the, there was something about feral Pokemon. I heard something about an Ursaring there.
you did mention that. Yeah. Yes, that was something we found while we were there. Was a feral Pokemon not within a mystery dungeon. They seem to simply have it chained up.
Very strange. Did you find anything to deduce how they may have done this? Because this is very unprecedented.
Dante just shakes his head.
Looks to you, too. Proteus and Ira.
I'm going to assume it was from a mystery dungeon, given what you've told us before.
Yes,
And
but,
I assume that is your area of expertise.
yes, and with my area of expertise, tells me that should never happen. Mystery dungeons are different planes of existence that creatures from there are more or less not real. They're apparitions created by the Enigma energy. And Enigma energy cannot exist outside in our world. So that is very strange how they were able to accomplish a feat like that.
Ira is kind of thinking this whole time. As she's doing so, she kind of like back of her, or in the back of her mind, maybe asks, Andromeda, do you think we can trust this or her?
I think, you see, a lot has changed since my days dealing with mages. And, well, to put it bluntly, I don't really know. I don't know. This might be an earnest act to seize and find out what's going on, or it could be selfish desires. I'm familiar with both, so you're right to be wary. Though,
Real quick. Oh, go ahead.
with those edicts in place, that I'm not too familiar with them. They are after my time, and well, I don't grasp them fully. So, like I said, I don't really know, Ira.
Real quick, just for my own sake, outside of this, what that power source that was mentioned, that we kind of like deduced was the power source and how it dissolved. Um, what did it look like again?
It was a stone. It didn't look cut. It looked like it looked like a stone that was kind of this purple and greenish color that was it was opaque, but it was almost like it was translucent with how it just kind of shimmered.
Odd. Okay.
Yeah. Malcolm, you recognize it as the pretty rock you ate one time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she yeah, so there's a pause for a moment as she thinks. Yes, actually, there was some additional information. Um, there was a note to that group that I recovered. I don't have it on me on my person currently, but it mentioned a Lord Hemlock. Would you happen to know anyone by that name? We're just as curious about this whole situation as you are, and we're trying to figure this out ourselves.
Actually, do an insight check.
Okay. I don't have to do that.
And anyone proficient in insight can also do it.
Oh, right. Dice Man's going to dice jail.
Does Dante have it or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it too, Dante. You really try to go.
Oh my gosh.
So, as Ira pops this question, that she knows anyone named Lord Hemlock, it looks like she is genuinely racking her brain right now, thinking if she knows that name. And like it seems earnest, like she's actually thinking pretty hard. Like there's a big pregnant pause, and she shakes her head and says, "No, I don't know anyone who goes by that name."
Well, that's unfortunate. It it mentioned something about that whoever this is, either somehow giving them the ability to, I guess, control these things.
Did it mention any kind of stone in that note you're talking about?
In fact, it did. Interesting. What is this stone that you're thinking it may have mentioned?
Well, first and foremost, let me commend you four on your bravery and quick thinking in handling these threats. Your actions have not only protected your community, but have also caught the attention of those who seek to understand and contain these phenomena. And that is why I'm here. And she reaches into a side bag, and on the table, she plops this sphere with this kind of, it looks like a glass ball, but in the center of it is a stone that looks like what was powering that construct you saw. And Malcolm, it looks like the tasty rock you ate.
That's grass.
No.
Malcolm.
It's pretty good. It's crunchier than normal grass.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait.
You ate this?
Yeah.
This is the first news I've heard of any of this. So
Ira in her head just goes, "Oh my gosh, they're gonna conduct experiments on him in a lab."
She says, no, that can't. You wouldn't be alive.
I ate it.
Do you guys know if he really ate it? Ate one of these?
Torius shakes his head.
No.
Dante just scratches at his neck.
Although I don't think they have the capacity to lie.
I wouldn't doubt he's telling the truth, but I don't know if we can be certain this is what he actually ate.
Or he thinks he's he's only saying what he thinks was true.
Well, I only ask because if he was telling the truth, he should be dead.
Hmm.
But
I'm not certain.
maybe keep an eye on him. A very close eye on him.
I already do enough of that as is.
Yes. Perhaps take notes if it wouldn't trouble you too. You will be compensated for it.
That's what just kind of raises a brow skeptically.
Anyway, she turns your attention over to the ball on with the stone in it. The substance at the heart of these incidents seems to be what is inside here right now. It is known as ether. It's a remnant of a meteor which fell to our world on the ice continent. In its raw form, that this one suggests he ate, is highly unstable and dangerous. It has the potential to warp reality, enhance magical abilities, and as you've witnessed, corrupt both living beings and constructs.
That shouldn't be out here. Problems.
Yes. Unfortunately, it appears someone has been smuggling ether off the ice continent and using it here on the air continent. This reckless use of an unstable substance threatens not only your community here in Helmfirth, but the stability of our entire region. The MDRA has the means to temper and refine ether, rendering it inert and safe, as you see here, into magic items. However, these incidents suggest that someone or multiple factions are exploiting it in its raw form.
Well, that certainly explains the make of that construct.
So the construct had one of these in it too? Or no? Yeah, you told her this already.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And that brings me to why I gathered you for here. I need your help. I think it is in the best interests of everyone that we uncover who is behind this. You are a part of a clergy here, are you not? She looks to you, Dante.
Assume the robe's already made that clear enough.
Mm-hmm. Well, there is a clergy on the ice continent as well, and it's the Hallowed Flames. Are you familiar with them?
No.
Be. Why am I not picking up? Would I be?
Yeah, you why don't we do a religion roll, because we rarely do those.
I willingly fail.
Should I roll?
Yeah, sure. If you
Okay.
I have proficiency in it, but I willingly fail.
Okay.
This is the wrong channel.
Nice. Oh, dang. Dice jet. Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
Can't believe Ira rolled higher than me.
I've got a good modifier.
Yeah, I rolled in the wrong spot, but I got a 10.
You're not too familiar with them. You don't really get out of this town very much. You know they the most you know is they just worship their deity is Reshiram.
Can't say I'm very familiar with them, other than the basics.
Yes. Well, they have been busy on the ice continent. Well, let's say they just hold some dogmatic views of things that happened in the past. But the Hallowed Flames view the meteor as a blight and are desperate to destroy every trace of it.
Would it not be one, assuming the problems it's causing?
Yes, you'd think that. But at the MDRA, we try to understand things rather than just destroy it. And the problem here, if you don't want to follow that line of thinking, ever since that meteor has fallen, the number of recruits that we have recruited to the MDRA, we found out children that were monoborn and brought them into the academy, that has tripled since that meteor came down.
There is actually a pretty genuine look of surprise from that. Tripled.
Yes, tripled. And if they think the meteor is the cause of that, we could face a resurgence of the witch hunts like those from centuries ago.
So why are you telling us this? And what does this have to do with your offer?
Well, you've proven yourself capable and resourceful in dealing with incidents like these involving ether, and I propose we work together to investigate and neutralize these threats on the air continent. Because the Hallowed Flames, no, everyone, if this gets out, they are going to blame the MDRA for this.
Shouldn't they already be aware that your numbers have tripled? You do have to report that.
We do report that. They know that it's tripled, but the ether has been contained on the ice continent, thus so far, but these two incidents now suggest otherwise.
And that this has been out for much longer than what has been seen. If numbers have tripled, then who knows how long these shards have been out here.
Well, if they know that your numbers tripled before the meteorite got out of here, then you should have nothing to worry about.
No, it's just it entered the atmosphere, and they'll latch onto any reason to blame us. You said you don't know the clergy. Well, I do. And I've had a change of perspective. I was on the ice continent, and I have seen there it's groups of factions at at each other's throats over all of this. And it occurred to me, after meeting two hedge mages, what the MDRA stands for. And that is to protect monoborn children so they can learn their abilities and hone them responsibly and are protected, and things like those witch hunts never happen again. To tell you what a hedge mage is, it's basically like a mage who didn't go through the academy.
Right.
Mhm.
whether they're undiscovered or something else happened.
Real quick with that roll, would Ira at least know the Hollow Flame's involvement in the edicts,
Yes.
given her background? Yeah.
Yeah, you would know that.
Okay.
About the sorcerer lords that kind of had a tyrannical rule and were thwarted by the clergy, but that led to another problem.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. So you want us to find these meteor shards and essentially act as cover-up to prevent a second sorry, I don't remember the term.
Witch hunt.
Yeah, to prevent a second witch hunt, second war.
Well,
So the problem is, regardless of what happens, the number of malevolent children is effectively tripled, and we aren't certain if this is just due to this meteor or
What she's suggesting is that if the hallowed flames, and mind you, these are the people who created the edicts. She's gonna add it's like these are the people who made the edicts.
Well,
this is
would Dante at least be
their thing.
Actually, you know, the edicts were more of a collaboration between the two, just to kind of stop it.
Right. Or yeah. As for context, these are the people who were involved in the original war and were involved in the creation of the edicts.
Given Dante's position, would he at least be familiar with the creation of the edicts?
Yeah, you would know that.
You would probably know them.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. She says it's like what I think she's suggesting is that if they find out that there's meteor here, they will believe that is causing the tripling of mana born. And so then that you assume they'll just start killing children?
That's not how the edicts.
I wouldn't put it past
Children
them.
that are manor-born are supposed to be. The MDRA's job is the one to bring up those children as a safety precaution.
Yeah, it's the first article, the third article of guardianship. But you haven't seen what I've seen there, and they are vigilant, and they're burning everything in their path on the ice continent. And they despise this meteor to the point where one of those hedge mages I told you about had hers ripped away from her, and they destroyed it behind her back.
If the meteor even sits there, and the assumption is, sitting there, wouldn't it be safer to destroy it?
Yes, it's raw in the ice continent, but in the hands of the MDRA, we can refine it to the point where it's inert, and it is used to create magic items that we use to help our way of life.
But the one that was taken from that hedge mage, was it raw?
Yes, it was. All the ether is raw on the ice continent.
Well, that's probably for her safety then.
We are making
what you're saying is true.
We are making strides to try to seize all the ether on the ice continent. So the smuggling, which seems to have happened, does not happen.
Processing that amount, if it's simply sitting there raw. That might take ages.
Yes, we are. That's why we want all these factions to leave the ice continent, so we could use it more or less as a quarry. And we do think it's a foolish errand for the Hallowed Flames to try and destroy it all. They'd have to burn the whole place to the ground. You've probably noticed that's getting harder and harder.
Well, I have noticed flames about the church aren't burning as brightly.
But with this mission I want to task you with, I want to send you to Lumhausen, where the university and the Ditherium Corporation may be involved. You would go undercover, posing as students or faculty, to gather information and stop those misusing ether. This mission would demand secrecy and precision if we are to succeed.
Are they called the ethereal or Ditherial?
Ditherium.
Ditherium.
Dithrym. Ditherium.
Okay.
YRM.
When I first hear, I was like, if you call yourself the Ethereum Corporation, no one's gonna question who's smuggling it.
Are you familiar with the Ditherium Corporation? You would be Iram, but
I might be.
Mhm.
I don't
No one
know.
else?
you might not be Dante. But
I'm like, I've made the trip to Lumhausen before, so would I?
you probably know about them, but she'll kind of explain it to Malcolm over there, who's looking kind of dead-eyed.
Yeah, he is.
Also, the fact that secrecy was brought up, Dante looks kind of obviously to Malcolm.
Malcolm rolling up to ruin this campaign.
The Ditherium Corporation is a major conglomerate based in Lumhausen, known for its cutting-edge technological and scientific research. They have had their hands in many industries, from biotechnology to energy production. On the surface, they seem to be a beacon of progress and innovation, providing jobs and driving the city's advancements. But there's a darker side. Officially, it's all just rumors. The MDRA and clergy perform regular audits on them, and they always pass with flying colors, perfect scores. It suggests that they are very good at covering their tracks. And those who spread these rumors or try to prove them, they conveniently disappear. As an aside, one thing that particularly infuriates me about the Ditherium Corporation, along with the university, is their ambition to demystify magic. They strive to strip the arcane of its mystery and power, making it accessible to anyone. Their ultimate goal is to enable even the most powerful spells to be used by those with no magical talent at all. This ambition spits all over the edicts, which were put in place to maintain balance and prevent the misuse of magic.
I don't like the idea of even the most common folk being able to deal in magic that powerful.
Yes.
I mean, surely not all common folk, right? He like looks at Malcolm.
As I said, keep an eye on him. Could you open your mouth for a second, actually?
Bah.
She cast the light spell on this like little stick. Huh. Anyway.
Oh yeah, I guess I should point out, Proteus probably looks like an artificer right now.
Yeah, that's okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, consider you just came out of the shed with the working on these pieces.
Yeah, he's got his toolkits with him and stuff.
But anyway, the edicts are already a point of contention. Their interpretations muddy and debated. The actions of the Deuterium Corporation and the university only serve to make these waters even murkier. They believe that by making magic a tool for the masses, they are advancing society. But in reality, they are paving the way for chaos and potentially another reign of tyranny, like the days of the Sorcerer Lords. If the Deuterium Corporation is involved with ether, the substance from the meteor, it could spell disaster. They have the resources and ambition to exploit it in ways that could be catastrophic. That's why understanding and stopping them is crucial. They are powerful and a dangerous entity, driven by an insatiable thirst for power and control. Any dealings with them must be approached with extreme caution. They are not to be underestimated.
Oh,
So what say you?
granted, I'm honestly still surprised all of this leads back to us and this sort of secrecy being something that involves us. I mean, we have dealings with what's already happened, but
Yes.
I mean, we're hardly qualified.
Maybe so, but you know if word of this gets out, what will happen. Panic.
Repeat of the words. Really?
If I may ask, how exactly are we supposed to, well, explain this supposed departure to the rest of the town? I mean, we can't just up and leave. I have family here. Dante has the clergy. Well, Malcolm and Proteus, I suppose, could just go.
Clergy, I'm just simply a
But
part of it.
I have family to take care of.
Well,
We do still need a courier.
that is up to you. How important you think this issue is. You can reject my offer. I will ask you to respect it and keep it secret if you don't. But I'd like to keep this issue close to the chest. I did do some small background checks on you all. And I know you have a father, Ira.
She frowns.
Yes, most people have those.
Yeah.
Go on.
My point is, the MDRA has ways of taking care of things, and we can make sure he is comfortable if you choose to go on this mission. In fact, I can arrange it so all of Helmfirth is safe. And on one hand, that might be I'd be defying the edicts, as I'd be showing bias towards your community. But this is more so several incidents took place here, and we're keeping it safe.
Won't that alone draw more attention here?
We're good at being discreet.
Smallest thing will drive this town up into a frenzy, though. It is a close-knit community, you should know that.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of many incidents with bandits on the roads and some fatalities that your clergy has to deal with. The MDRA can make it so that number goes down dramatically.
Turn, you simply want us to work for you for how long?
As long as it takes to get this incident under control. You will be rewarded outside of what we initially provide. The MDRA is very wealthy.
And if we refuse, caught, or die?
You're allowed to refuse, and if you die, you die. I don't know how to respond to that.
And what if we're caught or quit?
You're caught or you quit. I'm asking, it is a dangerous mission. I will admit that, and those are definite possibilities, but you've dealt with these incidents twice, and if you don't want to do it, I must find someone else who can, but right now you seem like you four are the most qualified. She says hesitantly. He's looking at Malcolm.
I think we should do it, because if those things run around putting everyone to sleep, then no one's going to be awake to do awake things. Sleep's important, but you got to have some people awake.
And there goes the cop.
You know what? I agree, Malcolm.
Ira's a little bit quiet right now because in her mind, like, alarms are firing off and all. Like,
I think Proteus is just going to say, "Well, is it morning or evening right now?"
It's morning. Or, like, afternoon.
Well, come back at dusk with an answer.
Okay. Just knock on my door, and we'll go from there. As I said before, please don't tell anyone. I do not want panic to run amok, because that's the best thing we might give our enemies. If there is panic, that will make our enemies react, and we do not want that.
when do you want us to leave? If this is what the plan is.
You have to understand, at the same time, the MDRA has to keep you in arm's reach away, because, again, we can't have whoever is doing this knowing you're doing this for us. So you'd be traveling on the road to Loomhalsen by foot. And I would rather you do it ASAP than later. But we can discuss that. Because the more time we spend, the more victims that'll be created, like Henders, and those who have fallen to the murder.
Hmm.
I think I'll have to let the rest of the clergy know that I'll be leaving for a while.
So is this a yes?
I guess
This will be a yes.
We'll come back at dusk.
Okay.
You said that you would make sure my family is accommodated for in my absence.
Mm-hmm. We'll make sure they are. We'll make sure your father's provided care. Unfortunately, we can't help anyone who live beyond their natural means, but we can make them comfortable.
Hell of it'll be hell of a conversation to have with Elias.
Well, you can't tell him because remember I told you to keep it secret.
Yes, but
Yeah.
leaving after all this,
Yeah.
I can explain I've got a job and that it pays
Yeah.
exceptionally well. A show of that would go a long way, in fact, in freeing up my ability to leave this place.
You say you have
do...
You say you have a job. You said you had a job?
No, this is a job.
Hmm.
This is that's an explanation.
Hmm.
I mean, I was going to say, you do realize that she already went to the university, right?
Yes, on the background check, I saw you were a student. So, this is actually very beneficial, as you can blend in exceptionally well.
So you can just say you're going back to school. Or have an internship or something similar.
I really glances at Proteus for a moment before. Yes, I suppose that works as well. Regardless, I'll have to come up with some form of cover, but
Before you
I
go,
suppose...
can I just do one thing?
And that is...
She goes over and she touches Malcolm. And you can see she's casting a spell.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
And then her eyes widen. Oh my goodness, he actually did.
Hold up.
Huh.
What do you mean he actually?
He ate one of the meteors.
What, did you cast Locate Object on him?
No, I cast Identify.
Oh, you can't identify a sheep.
This is quite remarkable. Well,
And that's supposed to have killed him?
yes, the meteor is highly toxic if it is ingested. But it's fascinating. Are you sure you're all right?
Yeah. Are you gonna eat that? And he's looking at the one on the table.
Oh, I was going to give this to you to perhaps identify meteors if you find them. And don't let him eat this, please.
Ira's gonna take it.
It's a pearl of power.
Oh.
Oh. Ira's gonna take it.
I do request to have that back if you decline, but if you
Well,
going on the road, you can take that with you.
you might want to pass it off to Dante. He has a bit of a harder time than you do.
I suppose that's fair.
Was
She's gonna.
Besides, you already said yes, Dante.
Yeah, I suppose it makes sense if he keeps it for the time being. If he's gonna come.
not certain what you meant by I have a harder time. Never mind.
You gotta keep us from falling asleep.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Well, I'll let you four discuss things among yourself. Oh, here you go. You can take this too. It's a ward. She hands you the square object. It'll fit in any door frame. Make sure no one's listening.
Oh.
Okay.
Proteus, I guess we'll take this one.
And like I said, keep an eye on him. Take any notes if anything weird happens.
Underwater.
To have tendency to be the one keeping an eye on him.
Huh? I'll let you four be off. I hope to see you later.
He nods and just holds this strange pearl power shaped meteor, looking at it a bit quizzically.
Yeah, it's this glass ball with like that actually looks like a cut meteor in the center, and it's just like emanating this kind of energy around it.
Interesting.
All right. Yeah, Ira will leave as well, kind of probably muttering to herself, just being like, "What in the world am I gonna tell them?" Well, yeah.
All right. So, did you guys want to discuss it amongst yourselves, or did you?
Yeah, maybe we go and talk about it in the Promised Land, since a lot of people don't go there.
You're gonna take Malcolm into
Lord.
the promised land.
Oh my gosh. We'll go around the side.
All
We're,
right.
we're on
So
the
do we
side
like
of the fence.
actually have anything to discuss?
I don't know if we really do have anything to discuss. This is more
Yeah.
of
I mean, Proteus does.
What's he
I-
gonna say?
Yeah.
all right. Curious to hear his 2 cents.
So, I see that you're all willing to work with them, though you do realize that by stationing the MDRA here, and with apparently tripling the numbers of applicants, that they are almost guaranteed to find more children within Helmfirth, right?
I understood that going into that conversation as soon as it was brought up. That is simply how things
That's-
work, yes.
That's just how it works.
The rules that were established, and it's one of few things that when you make the town perhaps stranger, assuming that all triple the children having been mana-born. The whole situation is strange. Don't get me wrong, but regardless, the points that she's brought up regarding simply a repeat of a witch hunt and I can't say I enjoy the idea of the way that this meteor is being refined and such, because who can say that it truly is going to be safer? He motions now to this pearl that he's got.
Are you gonna eat that?
Malcolm, these are not edible.
Yeah, they are. It's grass.
He is gonna eat that, so please don't take it from him. He's saving it for later.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless,
You also have to realize that they would not ask us to do something like this without another reason.
Yeah.
the conversation in general felt like there was perhaps some, I don't know.
They have a reason to be suspecting this company, and they are simply trying to recruit us as spies for them. We do not know why they are so interested, other than purely insulted. But that alone should be reason for concern. We can take this mission without their help.
I mean, if they're pointing us in the direction, then that's it. It comes back to the idea that they're suspected of smuggling in some sense.
Yes, but I don't want to be associated with them. I'm not below trying to help the town, or even by trying to figure out who in Loomhalsen decided to send a giant mechanical monster to Helmfirth. But if I have to report to them about it, then we are their allies, and we would be guilty by association to any cleric. If they have something to hide. The MDRA.
Well, of course they have something to hide. They're the MDRA. Look, something's going on, and we don't know what. Apparently they don't either, and they want us to go there to find out what it is. Or they're or they're trying to plant evidence within this group of people. Whatever the case is, there's something going on involving these two factions. And personally, I'd like to know what, especially since I have a personal stake in one of them. And if we can get paid along the way, and an excuse to get out, and an excuse to go along with it, that's, well, that's rather interesting.
You need the MDRA's help in order to take this journey in the first place, don't you?
I need an excuse, so I'm not just. I need an excuse, so I'm not just abandoning my family out here. Yeah.
What I mean is, your father. You came back to help him, didn't you?
Yeah. Of course I did. He's really sick right now. He can't really move all that well, at least, so. Of course. I, I, I don't see why that's relevant to the conversation.
My point is, you can't say no to their offer. So no matter what,
And-
we would have to be tied up with them.
And why exactly do you want to say, just because you'd be associated with them?
Rather, you wouldn't want to associate with them.
Keeping the MDRA close to you is not... It limits your freedom, we'll put it that way. Do you really want them to be checking in on us all the time while we're out there, even if we don't want them to be?
Well, by the
Not all
sounds
the
of it,
time.
they don't want to be. By the sounds of it, they don't want to be doing that in case of us being discovered.
But they will try to keep tabs on us. He kind of twirls the lock in his hand. Or I guess his paw. He also gestures to the Pearl of Power. They'll be watching.
Well, what do you suggest otherwise?
Like I said, I would have just done it ourselves. However, I don't think you can say no, and so I guess that settles it then.
Okay.
Oh,
Ira
this
just
is
kind of
no
looks a
role.
bit confused.
Dante's honestly looking a little more conflicted after this conversation rather than how he was kind of prepared beforehand.
Look, I mean, if you don't want to go, that's on you. You aren't.
But frankly, I've already said yes, and I'm possibly just overthinking it.
I think I'm just going to leave town.
Okay.
When you say leave town, you mean unrelated to this whole thing, or
It's not safe to stay here. And I don't think it's safe to work with them either. Well, then again. Yeah, fine. We'll go together.
circumstances?
Is that your conversation?
Yeah, I think that...
I guess.
I guess we're done, lol.
We're overthinking it.
Malcolm, what do you
Alright.
think about this whole
Yeah.
predicament?
He's eating the grass.
Hmm.
He's not
Yeah.
in this
He's
cemetery,
probably
though.
sticking his head through the fence.
Yeah,
and
he's
eating the
probably
grass.
his neck is probably stuck between the bars.
Oh my gosh.
He's still getting the grass in the graveyard.
Or it's just far enough away where he can't reach it. Strategic. So, yeah, after prying Malcolm's head out, what do you want to do from there?
Let's go tell Estelle we're gonna do it because I'm ready to get this show on the road.
Mhm.
I guess at the very least we'll go confirm it. I don't know if.
Say our goodbyes, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to go back to Estelle?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, you go back to the inn, knock on the door. The paranoid little Natu looks out at you and gathers you all back in the room. And says, have you four come to an accordance?
Yep, that we have. When did you say you wanted us to leave?
ASAP, if that is possible.
All right. ASAP it is, I guess.
Excellent.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but
She looks to the rest of you.
Decision earlier saying I would go. Well, that remains.
To Malcolm.
I gotta tell my flock, but yeah.
She nods. Proteus.
I suppose so.
Excellent. Any dealings in Loomhausen must be approached with extreme caution. They are not to be underestimated. I am going to organize things with the Dean to let you four in as students. I know your term is over, Ira, but I'm getting you permission to go back. And the rest of you should consult with the Dean. Let him know I sent you. And he will take it from there. In a different way, we are doing our audit. So for now, this project I wanted to get off the ground is now in effect. It's the Special Neutralizing Operations Wardens. Or SNOW, for short.
I see. Ira just kind of frowns like, that seems like a very specific acronym.
Yeah.
Should come up with that before the words.
No, it came naturally, just like the MDRA. But
Right.
like I said, we have to keep you an arm's length away, because if they know we sent you, then they're going to react to that immediately. So we're going to have you on the road for a little bit, just so we can make a slow burn. So when you show up in Loomhausen, it will be a little while. But hopefully what happened here will be a distant memory, and you'll have a clean slate.
Here's hoping, I suppose.
There are several, if you want to burn up that time, there are several other towns and cities along the road. Ironbrook, there's Oakshire, which is the neighboring town. There are several, and I know the murder has wings have spread to there as well. So perhaps you can provide these communities relief from that, and maybe find out how they are getting the ether. But do you have any other questions before I leave? I am going my visit here. I am just saying I was looking for some Manaborn. Hopefully that ruse does good enough.
Given the earlier conversation, but frankly, I think it makes sense.
But, as I promised to, I will provide relief for Helmfirth and relief and comfort for your family, Ira. And Malcolm, I will make sure the McFluff Fields is provided with the best grass.
Wow. That is it going to be better than in the Promised Land?
I do not. What is the Promised Land?
No, don't ask. Just say yes.
Yes.
Yay, I'll tell everyone when I get back. Say goodbye.
Indeed. You can merely chalk up these benefits to your family, Ira, as benefits from the school.
Will do. Actually, she'll if she'll just kind of, in addition, be like, actually, do you mind giving me a list of them so I can actually, properly explain?
Okay. Well, we'll perhaps provide renovations for your home. Is there anything particular you would want?
Let me think. Sorry, let me think for a second. Let's see. Renovations. Probably something about like modernized equipment.
Yeah, we
And
can definitely do that.
yeah. And then
We'll provide care for your father.
care. Yeah, obviously care for. Care
Unfortunately,
for Dad.
the MDRA is not a clergy, so we cannot do divine healing but more conventional. But we can do the best money can buy.
I mean, even some sort of, magical or more conventional aid would go wonders here. It's not exactly up to date.
There's actually a wheelchair we've been working on. In fact, it's actually a very interesting project. Yes, perhaps we can benefit from each other.
Interesting. So yeah, I sorry, I can't think of anything else right now, but yeah, basically. Yeah, that should be enough. That's what I can think of at the moment, at least.
All right. Well,
I'm sure I'm sure my family will have their own opinions. Probably more thought out ones if they are able to give them.
okay. Very well. Did anyone else have any questions before I'm going to make my way to Oakshire, and we can meet again there. I would be careful on the roads. Banditry has been afoot due to the fall in temperature, and people get desperate to make ends meet, or simply feed themselves, or to stay warm.
Okay.
Well, I will bid you adieu. Thank you again, Snow. I look forward to working with you.
Thank you as well.
And she lets you leave.
All right.
All
I'm
right.
just gonna go figure out what to do, what to say to her family.
Time for Malcolm to pack up his one material possession while the rest of us do real packing.
Yeah.
This will be quick. Malcolm, you go back to the McFluff Fields.
There was much rejoicing when they hear of the wonderful grass that they're going to be getting.
Yeah. Yeah, the promised land has expanded.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Too bad I won't be here for it. Maybe I'll come back someday. Save some for me.
You must eat grass in other lands, Malcolm. That is your task. It is important.
I'll do it.
I must pass down the wise words of my great-grandpa Malcolm to you. Everyone, let's bless Malcolm on his spiritual journey to devour the best grass. They all kind of circle you, Malcolm. Remember these words, Malcolm. 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. And the rest repeat it. 4 legs good, 2 legs bad.
4 legs good, 2 legs bad.
There was much bleeding and rejoicing. Proteus, well, how do you leave and prepare to leave?
He's probably going to make his home look like no one ever lived there.
Yeah. Did you not have very many material possessions in there?
Probably not. But any, like, painting or anything else he did to make it more homely, he is probably removing.
What are you doing with the Genesect head?
That we're probably just going to have to leave on... Or I guess we can't really take it with us, I guess, because that won't go very well if it reaches the corpse. Do we bury them with Malcolm?
Malcolm's already buried.
Yeah, Malcolm's already buried. We probably should bury them or something. Somehow dispose of them.
Should we ask Dante where the best place to bury them is?
That's a good idea.
Dante, you wouldn't really know what the best place to bury something is. I mean, it's like a town. Like, you could bury it anywhere if you really wanted to.
Okay, wait, remind me, what are they trying to bury exactly? Because I've got lost in
the Genesect head and cannon.
Mm-hmm.
You do understand asking to bury something for hiding it is a lot different from asking to bury it for the graveyard, right?
I suppose, but you've also been here longer than both of us.
You know dirt better than pretty much anyone that isn't Malcolm. So, you know, anyone with a bray.
I'm
I
flattered.
guess we could ask Malcolm. Maybe if we bury it in the fields, the Malcolms will.
That's a great idea.
Oh, hi, Malcolm.
Hi.
You know, we'll be tearing out grass to bury it anyway, so they'll be happy.
Field works then.
Of course, there is the problem of they might deforest the place, that grass as well, but you know, another bald patch over there doesn't hurt anyone.
Why not bury it along the road to Mr. Henders?
Because Mr. Anders was killed by it, and that would be the first place people would look.
Fair enough.
The other thing is even if they find it with a spell or something, finding that it's with a bunch of sheep is gonna be a harder way to get it out subtly than on the road somewhere. So yeah,
Let's
let's
go get the shovel.
So you're gonna
um,
you're gonna bury it in McFluff Fields?
Yeah.
with Malcolm around us.
Oh, you're back, Malcolm. You were gone for such a long time.
Yeah, we have something we're gonna bury here. It's really important.
Does it taste like grass?
Probably not.
It will give you more grass. After that, it will cease to exist.
Okay. And you're just your goal is just to bury it under the field.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, supposedly Zoroas are taller than Malcolm's, so that's interesting.
Not by much.
You successfully bury the construct parts under McFluff Fields.
Yeah, I suppose while we're working on it, I might use silent images to try to keep things from being able to see us doing this.
Okay, so like doing it within like a boulder or something.
Yeah.
This is weird also because Dante is way taller than everyone else.
Yeah, that's the other reason I wanted to do that, because you're a two legs.
Two legs bad.
See, like Malcolm leer at you a little bit, Dante. You don't know if Ira qualifies because she has 4 arms, so it's a little weird.
Yeah.
4 arms, good.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And construct successfully buried.
All right. Now we can leave.
Okay. Ira, what do you wish to do?
Okay, I mean, after Ira kind of either hands off the parts or helps carry them towards the fields, she is going to head home to she's gonna head home to try and deliver the news.
As you walk back to your place, you hear, "So what are your thoughts on that mage?"
I don't trust her.
Hmm.
I don't trust the MDRA. And, well, I'm being tasked to go infiltrate and spy teachers and students that I owe my studies to.
Yes. But she did bring up some pretty valid points.
I want to know what's going on. Could be that the MDRA is just trying to make bad the university. I have heard plenty of horror stories from former MDRA professors.
Perhaps
But maybe they're right. Maybe there is something going on.
Perhaps it's because the edicts are after my time, but I do find it strange how that university is, like she said, demystifying magic. This isn't as simple as just handing magic items over. No, it seems like they want the arcane at their fingertips, much like the mages of old.
I suppose that's true to an extent. Although, if it wasn't for that, I mean, I wouldn't know nearly as much as I do about the arcane. I never would have gotten the opportunity to.
That's true, and we would have never met.
I never would have come into contact with you either. Yeah.
Yes. Well, there's no... I'm not saying there's any right or wrong here. The way I am, I'm simply along for the ride for the time being. So,
Oh, maybe we'll find out if there is some sort of right or wrong going on.
and if you do plan to go, make sure you bundle up tight, okay? I don't want you catching a cold.
I'll be... Oh.
Yes. I don't know if the common cold is deadly, but I would have preferred if you did not catch one.
Not nearly as anymore.
Okay. Off to your...
Yes.
I'll let you discuss this with your family.
All right. So yeah, she kind of walks in. Who's out there?
As you open the door, Elias isn't you notice he hasn't been here lately since he has a family of his own, and but your other brother is still he seems to be visiting as well, especially with what's happened to your father, and he sees you once again, and he says, "Are you done lugging that thing around?"
Yes, thankfully. Well, I don't think there's much more I'm going to get out of it. It's out of the shed now. It's disposed of.
Good. Do I want to ask where you put it?
Probably not, just in case anyone comes looking for it.
Fair enough.
She kind of pauses for a moment. So, while we were studying that, well, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, but Malcolm, you saw what happened with the other Malcolm, and I assume you heard about one of the Malcolms being there
Yeah.
at that whole excursion.
Yeah, you all right from that?
Yeah. It's been a week. I didn't really get hurt.
Okay.
A little singed on the clothes, but anyways, he part of that thing had a weird stone in it, some sort of magic, basically a magic power source, basically kind of how the whole thing ran. Malcolm ate it.
He ate magic powers?
Yes. He's not dead, thankfully. But I sent a letter to Lumhole, kind of describing the whole thing. I was asking for any additional information, since, they might know a thing, or I could maybe get like a book or two. It's whatever. But they they actually offered me a job of sorts, research. And long story short, I think I'm going to be going back to Loomhausen.
Weren't you off for you said you were off for months.
Yeah, I know, but this came up and they really want me back and they want Malcolm there too, to study him, basically. and it's not just uh bef- it's not just payment they're giving me. They're gonna um they said they were gonna help out with the house as well. Maybe do some renovations. Maybe fund you guys for some better equipment, all that.
Marcus.
So
Marcus looks a little conflicted right now, and he's. So you're leaving, and they're gonna get us a better house.
Maybe better house, better um better tools. They said something about um some sort of, I guess, device to help Dad move around, help get him the medicine he needs.
No.
Um, she nods her head. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never liked that mumbo jumbo. I've always liked rolling up my sleeves and doing work myself. But you're saying they have something to help Dad be able to walk again, or at least walk.
At least get him around. Something about a wheelchair. I guess it's self-explanatory.
Yeah, even I can understand something like that. How long do you think you'd be gone for?
Couple months, maybe. I mean, I'll be I'll be back out of your guys' hair, and hopefully that'll. I'll be sure to send you guys some money as well. And hopefully any of those accommodations will help the place around, or will help the place.
Well, it's great that if you're saying what you're saying is true, this would really help out. That old wooden bed has been around since before you were born that he's laying in right now. But personally, I don't think he has much time left, and I think he would like to see you still, but if you can make these last years, months, weeks the best for him, maybe it's worth it, you know?
Well, I'll do what I can. I don't know exactly what they're providing. They weren't too specific, but I assume that once someone gets over here, they'll work things out.
Is there any way I can get a hold of you? Do I write the university?
Yeah, just write the university. Well, my dorm I don't know if the dorms and dormitories and all that will be the same as before, but yeah, I'll write you guys once I get there. I'll make sure you guys know where to find me.
All right. Well, as much as I hate to see you go, and I may give you a hard time, Ira, but it's good to have you around here in Helmfirth.
Yeah, thanks. It's I suppose it's good to be here. I guess I'll miss you guys, but I should go talk to Dad.
All right.
Is he awake, or is he still?
I think he's awake.
Okay. So yeah, she'll kind of head down the hall, or I don't even know if there's really a hall in this building. Just kind of towards the
Yeah, it has like
family room.
it has like a it's a small house, but it has like one of the like it's not a very long hallway, but it just kind of connects
Mhm.
a few rooms together. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you see your father laying down on a wooden bed that's seen better days.
Hey, Dad.
You you don't see movement for a sec, but then you just see stirring in the blankets and you hear, Ira, is that you?
She kind of maybe pulls up, yeah, that chair kind of next to the bed. It's like, yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
How are you faring?
Oh, I'm doing excellent. I heard your brother complaining about you and your friends knocking on the door. What are you doing out in that shed?
I was there's been a couple things going on. I've been trying to make sure everything's okay in town.
Hmm. Not tailoring, was it?
No,
Yeah.
not. It's never been my forte.
You know what? Your mother never lacked it either.
As he kind of like starts coughing, she kind of like goes towards him, like just making sure he's okay.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm okay. I think I got another decade in the tank.
uh, Listen, Dad, I'm gonna be gone again for a while. I know I just got here, but the university called and they made a really good offer. I'm gonna be getting paid actually, and like more than the fees cost, and I'm what's it? They're gonna be sending some people down here to help as well. Get the house all nice. Uh, get you some help.
Yeah. That's, you know, I'd personally like it if you stuck around, and I know you're not as, like being as hands-on as the rest of us like the family business. But you should follow your own path. And I don't necessarily like the path you're following, but that's not something for me to decide. And I know Elias isn't here either, but that's because I think he's much like you too, and wants to make his mark on the world. Marcus, I think I feel, is the only one who took after me in that regard.
And I suppose so. You guys are practically the same person at times. I Yeah, look, yeah. I'll be gone for a bit, but as soon as this research is done, I'll be back here, okay? And in the meantime, like I said, better tools, said something about better house. You might, I mean, hell, they might be able to get you up and moving again.
Really? Well, I'll believe it when I see it.
The well, well, we'll see. I hopefully have it on good authority.
Well, you have
Yeah.
my blessing to go then, Ira. I do hope he's still right, though. These eyes don't work like they used to, but I'm sure Marcus can read it for me.
Don't worry. I will. I promise. Always.
I want you to.
Now.
I want you to take one thing with you too. In my drawer, right over there. There's an amulet in there.
She kind of frowns, but goes over to the drawer, opens it up.
So you open the drawer, this small wooden drawer, and there is an amulet in it, and it looks like it's made out of gold, but it's like there's these tendrils and vines kind of clasping around it like a hand that are also made out of this green material, but it has this shimmer to it, much like the gold.
Have I ever seen this? Has Ira ever seen this?
No, you have not seen this.
What? Dad, what is this? This...
It's a gift. It was a gift from your mother to me. I never put it on. I don't really like jewelry.
She kind of
It looks like it can open.
looks...
Too.
Okay, yeah, she's gonna open it.
Yeah,
To lock it.
And there's a kind of a picture. Well, the way pictures are done in this world is it's a drawing, a very photorealistic drawing of both your parents in their younger days.
She kind of closes the she closes the locket and puts it on slowly. It's like,
And what I know you can do with this is nature reacts to everything. It has a response, right? And I know this. That's why your mother gave this to me. Is I wish to preserve things like that.
mm-hmm.
And I think this would be more value to you. Maybe a reminder. Remind you of where you came from.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And what this will do is it is an attunement item, if you so choose to attune to it. You get
Okay.
a 1 use of entangle a day. It will be, and just to specify too, it's every dawn, not long rest. As well as it houses the pictures of your parents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she kind of, again, kind of slips it on, kind of looks at herself, it's like, yeah, I'll keep it safe. Yeah, thank you.
All right, when are you leaving?
Soon. Maybe today even. I have to get with the rest.
Okay, well, I won't hold you back then.
All right. You keep. You take care. Just get yourself some rest.
Mm-hmm. You see him.
Help will be here soon enough.
You see him toss over a little bit and just kind of close his eyes. You hear...
Ira just kind of hovers there for a moment. Oh.
You know, you are greatly going to outlive your progenitor and your family, and probably those friends you had that you met with being attached to me. You are going to watch many people you care about die. How do you feel about that?
It's a lot. It hurts. It hurts seeing him like this.
Mm-hmm.
It hurts knowing that even a couple of years ago, he was so
spry,
full of life.
That is why I dedicated myself to defying that inevitability. Because it is unfair. Because the chance that we all might become nothing. Some argue that's where we were before we were born. We were nothing before we were born. But now that when we have lived our lives, what happens to our memories, our experiences, our feelings? Are they all to be wasted? I don't want that to happen.
Ira kind of glances down back at the locket. Kind of opens it again to stare at the picture for a few more moments.
I wish I could help your family, but I can only help one person.
Well, let's go make sure that isn't the case.
Indeed.
And she's going to close the locket, glance at her father once more before kind of hovering back out the door.
All right. Dante.
Hello.
Hi. What are you going to do?
We're going to be stalking back at the clergy, kind of to going to be a strange explanation, I think.
Yeah. You know you would have to go to this is another person in the hierarchy, the High Cleric of this church to pretty much ask permission to leave, because it's usually the duty of necro hunters to go on pilgrimages outside of the church, which you are not.
Mm-hmm. How do I even begin to explain this?
And the High Cleric of Helmfirth is Virgil.
Okay. He takes a bit to sort of stay at the doors, just going over the entire conversation that's already happened earlier, because it's been a lot of it's been a lot. Not to mention, there's now even like perhaps the doubts that have been formed after the conversations with the rest of the group. So eventually he does push the doors open and he walks in, and he nods to the rest of the clergy as he walks through, looking to actually find Virgil.
Yeah. He is. You actually, there's a bunch. He is in the middle of a prayer right now too. You see all the acolytes holding their candles along the pews, and you actually do see Virgil, a Typhlosion, much like you, at the kind of at the altar, kind of kneeling down right now, holding a candle outwards, closing his eyes.
He would step up and silently join in at the very least, avoiding interrupting, of course, during prayer. But perhaps he'll even tend to some of the candles that are
Flickering,
dimming,
waning. Yeah. As
waiting
you
for sorry.
Yeah, as you make your way there to the altar and you kind of kneel down and join in this prayer. Not even opening his eyes, he says, "Something is troubling you, Dante."
We have I might need to talk about. It's been an eventful day.
You can bear that all right now.
I'm sorry, was that like a question or?
Yes. It's like he just affirms like you can bear that all right now.
Right now, yes. Though, if we could speak privately later.
You can speak right now, under the eyes and wings of the great Yveltal. We don't hold secrets in this church.
doing this to me. Sorry. So he's thinking of how to word this. We're already aware of what's happening with the rise in Malevolent.
Yes.
Between the events that happened in town over the last week, there's no easy way to ask this, but I know this is also above my standing, but I'm requesting that I might be able to travel. There's things that have happened over the last week involving murder that occurred, and my own experiences with that, and constructs that even showed up. There was a construct that showed up. I don't know how much those of you know what happened there, but
Yes, I was made aware. But am I clear? You want to leave your station?
grapple, yes.
Do you think you are ready to do such a thing?
He has to take a moment even to mull over it. Admittedly, I'm mixed with uncertainty, but I do think it is what I have to do.
That is the wrong answer. But I will grant your request, Dante.
He actually looks up a bit confused.
If you defeat me in a duel to prove you are ready.
This is all right. Sudden, but I think I understand.
That's perfect. He moves down to below the altar in front of the pews. He says, "Come at me as if you were to kill me. Understood?"
Right.
All right. He kind of sets down his candles and he goes into a stance. And let's roll initiative. 15 on the die.
Yep.
Where is his stat block? So he got 17.
Got 11.
All right. He is almost like lightning. Before you even have time to react to this duel, he's going to run up and slug you twice.
Okay.
Got a nat 1 and a nat 3, so both of those. He's going to activate Flurry of Blows, so he's going to use one of his 3 key points. He's going to go in for... How does this stupid stat block work?
My man's a level 3 monk.
The multi-class already.
Another 2. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, he got 1 hit, I believe, because that's a 19 on the die.
Yeah, that'll hit.
And what's his to hit here? 10.
Oh my gosh.
So only 1 hit. Alright, so... Okay. He is going to do a total of... as he punches you. He's going to do 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh my gosh.
Alright,
Okay.
it's your turn.
He's gonna lose.
Wow. Man, okay, so first of all, I'm going to use Sanctuary myself, bonus action.
Okay.
Then sucks. I realized my modifier was wrong. Remind me, are you still allowed to use cantrips after casting a spell or no?
Yes, you are.
The real one, the Sacred Flame.
Okay.
That's a dex save.
A dex save. Okay. That is, he might have failed this because 12.
That is fail.
All right. Would that make Sanctuary go down? Because
Oh wait,
Yes, it would.
yeah.
I'm dumb. I should have reversed the order. I'm stupid.
I'll give you a mulligan here, and if you want to do a level 1 spell instead, I'll let you do it.
Uh,
You can cast the cantrip and then cast Sanctuary. That's valid.
Yeah. Yeah, you can totally do it that way. I'll let you do it that way.
yeah, if I could do it that way instead, I'm sorry.
Okay.
New caster smell still. Not familiar with all my spells.
All right, do your damage. He failed to save.
That's, I believe, the modifier, isn't it? Just raw, isn't it?
It's radiant 1d8.
Yep. So that was 6 radiant damage.
The flame kind of it gets him on the side. He is going to
Both 6.
you gonna do anything else?
There's no reason for me to back up right now because I'll just take an hobby. I mean, even if he has to make the attack, he's gonna just push me again. So, how is that case where I'm better off not moving?
Okay. He is going to go in for 2 more attacks. Getting a natural 2 and an 8 on the dice. He's going to use a second 2 out of 3 of his another key point. So he's used 2 out of 3.
Because he's still got to.
He's got to make the wisdom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So he failed 1 wisdom save. Does he have to do it twice? Or do you
So, any creature who targets the ward must with an attack.
Pretty much
Is that-
any time he makes an attack against him, he's got to make a wisdom save.
Okay, so he just
He's
failed
he's
those
just
2.
Okay, so he's got to make a DC 14 whiz save for each attack.
Yeah. So I'll just say he missed those because he failed both those.
Okay.
So he will go in for the flurry, and so he's going to use the key point, and then he has to do it again. I think a 20 passes the whiz save, so
Yep.
now he's going to go in for the attack. Will be a 19,
That'll hit.
and for the last attack, that's going to fail. So only one hit gets you again.
That will probably do it, though.
Now, let's see. He got max damage last time. That will be... How much HP do you have left?
3.
I think he does. Yeah. So, yeah, he just kind of goes in and just clonks you 1 down on the ground. Not
Probably
knocking you out or killing you, just kind of
Right.
rendering you down. As he kind of puts his robes back on. What did you learn from that, Dante?
Can't be making assumptions.
This duel was not about winning or losing. It was a lesson, a reminder that in our service to the Black Wings, We must face the unknown. We are never fully prepared. When we walk into this world, we are never prepared. Just as we leave it, we are not prepared. All we can do is take the plunge. And show determination and courage when facing the unknown. We must embrace them just as we embrace death, with acceptance and humility. You are not ready, but that is why you are ready. Do you understand?
He sits there to take a breather for a minute, just coughing from the gut punches before ready. Not being ready makes me ready. There's no being ready, so same.
Yes. Being born and dying are the same if you think about it. When we are born, we are ripped from everything we know into a new world. We breathe differently. We are connected with something, and we are separated from them. When we die, we go to another place, another world, one that nobody knows about. Why is it that we accept the former? Or why is it that some people accept the former but fear the latter? It's because they are not ready, but they will inevitably take that journey.
He takes a deep breath and he nods.
Virgil reaches into his these black and red robes he's wearing. Take these scriptures with you, Dante. They contain teachings on how to use one's body as a weapon, as I showed you, to show mercy to those not ready to depart from this world, and to deliver swift death to those who refuse to listen to reason. May they guide you in your journey. And he hands you this black leather book.
Thank you.
And I hereby, as High Cleric of the mortal wings of Helmfirth, declare you a necro-hunter.
He gives him a solemn nod and holding this book in hand, he feathers over the closed pages before putting it in his bag. Sure.
Virgil simply, not even just as practice, he goes back to back up the quiet steps of the altar where you hear his soft footsteps go down, and he again goes down to his knees and holds up the candle.
And this all taking place, Dante looks back over the rest of the acolytes here, giving them all a nod before heading back towards the door.
Yeah. As you leave, they they repeat that prayer that you were incanting before Oliver came in. Yveltal, guardian of the final journey, guide our spirits in the inevitable cycle of life and death. As we walk this mortal path, grant us the wisdom to honor those who have passed and the strength to face our own end with courage. Shield us from the corruption of undeath and the lure of forbidden magics. May we use our powers to bring peace to the suffering, swift mercy to the tormented, and protect the sacred balance you uphold. In the shadow of your wings, we find solace. In your embrace, we find eternal rest. By your will, so be it.
So be it.
And that's where we'll end. Whew, okay. Excellent. All right. So Team Snow will be heading out the doors of Helmfirth next time. How y'all feeling?
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
You got level 3 Monk Dawn.
Yeah.
No, that was level 5. He had extra attack.
It's apparently a CR1 monk.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Weird. Okay, never mind.
To be fair, CR1 is like level 3.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know how to close things out other than we'll see you next time. What happens on the road with these 4 traveling companions working for the MDRA?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
Boy.
Here we go again.
Here we go again.
Yep.
All right. See you guys later.